Wow. Welcome back to Chat It Up Sports, episode 168. Absolute chaos, my friends, is going on in the college football world. The name Sherrone Moore has been tossed through the mud the last 24 to 48 hours, and we're going to talk about that. We got some more dragging through the mud, which is called Notre Dame University. The University of Notre Dame, I think it's actually called. Our university here on the wall side of things, we believe in the University of Tennessee, and they have a new defensive coordinator in Mr. Knowles. That welcomes people into town. We have a wonderful podcast today. I can't wait to get into it. Joseph Guthrie behind the scenes back there. It is just you and I, my friend.
It's the Dos Amigos?
The Dos Amigos.
Yeah, there we go. How you doing, man?
Yeah, we're doing great. And speaking of Dos, Malcolm Harris is in Mexico. Greg Barnard is in Vegas for the first time in his life.
Oh, God.
And Drew Rogers is out there finishing up his Masters, being a good boy. So we are proud of our friend for finishing up his Masters. I believe it ends tomorrow is what he said.
Yeah, I think so. I think he said tomorrow was the last day. So at least one of us is being responsible. You know?
Yeah.
Like we got a degenerate in Vegas, we got a degenerate in Mexico, 2 degenerates in the foundation. One of us, though, is holding it down and being an absolute.
It's the one that's almost 10 years our younger.
Yeah, we don't mention that part. We leave that part out. We leave that part out, you know? But
yeah.
Shout out, Drew.
Shout out, Drew. Shout out to everybody. This is going to be a great week. Christmas is almost here, boys and girls. I don't know what our female population is. I hadn't seen the numbers, to be honest with you. But yeah, this has been a very, very interesting week. Michigan has 11 coaches, I believe, that have been suspended or completely kicked out of football since Jim Harbaugh and his staff have become a thing at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Wild.
11 of his staff. Well, I guess including him. So 10 of his staff. And I don't want to say much on the rumors because there's nothing been said from a police station or from a police report that gives me absolute fact on some of these things that have been thrown out there. But if you do want to go look up Sherrone Moore's extras, please, by all means, if you love some good tea in college football, this is it. I said it today on the Sports Minute. I was like, if you want some good national tea, I got it for you.
Yeah.
Can't say too much. What we do know for sure, according to Pete Thamel, is that he was arrested, he was fired. All the things that you've heard about so far feel like they're very close to true. I don't know. Allegedly, there are multiple reports that have said that he is, forced abortion, forced, some different salary increases for the alleged affair that he was having with a staff member. Sherrone Moore was fired for sure. What we do know is the reason he was fired from Michigan as their head coach was that he had an affair with a staff member, and they have a zero tolerance policy on that. And they said, you got to go. After that, he was detained for going over to his girlfriend's or mistress's house. Mistress, yes. It just feels like a lot, man.
Yeah.
What a disaster of 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, to put it, I think the best way I've heard this put, shout out Brooks Austin. He said this was an all-time bag fumbling. And it really is.
Yeah.
Like, you are handed the head coaching job at Michigan, and not bad Michigan. Like, when Jim Harbaugh took over, they were not good Michigan. They were kind of in a hole. They were coming out of being bad, the Brady Hoke years. And you're handed an all-star freshman quarterback who, from what we've seen this year, looks to have been what you thought he was going to be. I mean, he's still a little rough around the edges, but like, the talent's there. You just got to develop him. And you're handed an incredible recruiting program. Like, it's for all intents and purposes probably a top 10 job in the country. And you can't keep it in your pants. And now you're out. And now Michigan's got to find somebody else. And the hot board names, there's a lot of smoke around Kalen DeBoer. I'm not buying that.
I don't get it.
I'm not buying that until he announces, hey, I'm going to Michigan. I'm not buying that at all. I just don't. I don't know why short of him facing pressure internally from someone in Alabama, not saying he is. I
Yeah,
don't
this is
assume.
the-
I'm
we're
not
just like-
assuming. This is literally just talking.
Yeah, this is hypotheticals.
Yeah,
almost
this
at
is all.
point.
Yeah, short of him facing pressure from somebody like Greg Byrne or somebody in Alabama to be like, "Hey, man, you listen. First 2 years, I know you made the SEC title game. You should probably like look into this Michigan job," which was I can't even believe like saying that out loud. I'm like, I can't even imagine this conversation is actually happening. So I'm not buying that. I mean, now Jed Fish, you could talk me into that. I think that's a definitive upgrade going from Washington to Michigan and Michigan, the state that it's in now. So I don't see Kalen DeBoer moving. Probably my favorite, the one that they've pitched so far, is Jesse Minter, the DC. But I don't know if Michigan.
Why is that one coming into fruition? I don't know much about Jesse.
So Jesse Minter was the DC for Harbaugh.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's also like, as much as I think that name carries some weight, it also for me in the same vein doesn't, because I don't feel like Michigan wants anything more associated with Harbaugh, Stallions, that whole thing. So that kind of makes me think Jesse Minter's out, because they just don't even want to revisit that path, revisit that. Although I think he'd be really good. I saw somebody toss out Mike McDonald from the Seahawks. If you could get him, that would be a home run hire. I don't think you're going to get him. I don't know what NFL coach that's having success would leave an NFL coaching job and take a college coaching job. So that was probably just like a,
especially in the midst of all this.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the furthest shot in the dark somebody just put out there as a fan and they're just hopeful for. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of big time names. Taylor Lewan on Get Up the other day was like, how fresh is the ink on that contract for Matt Campbell?
I know.
Like, how can we look into that? I'm like, dude, you're not getting Matt Campbell. There's no.
That's really
Penn
tough.
State. Yeah, because he's already like started recruiting and started pitching the vision for Penn State. Like Matt Campbell's not the guy to do that. He wouldn't be the guy that would just be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm going to Michigan. So
you thought the media coverage was like pretty terrible a week and a half ago for Penn State? Like it was in shambles.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing compared to this, dude.
Yeah.
This is wild to me. Like, we have gone through a period where there are new playoffs being announced. We have got our guys set. We had SEC and Big Ten championships that were very, like, highly anticipated in some regards. And it's all kind of pushed to the wayside from this coaching search. Like, people love the outside drama.
Yeah.
And this is just fascinating to me that we have gotten to this point where, dude, Michigan, LSU, Penn State, top 10 jobs, all of them, all going to be open. And one is in a weird conundrum. Did you listen to Thamel today on?
I didn't get a chance to. No.
Okay. So they asked him some questions. They were like, hey, Pete, so like where are they going to look? Like, can you go snipe one of these guys that just signed, da-da-da? He's like, it's very tough to do. That's very tough to do because you're talking about just ungodly buyouts.
Yeah.
And he said what will be easier is some of these fellas that have just inked extensions. And I was like, huh. So talking around, again, we don't have any.
We don't have anything concrete.
We have nothing. Just hearsay and then some people that were just tapped in on the message boards. But my goodness, dude, if Elko, the one that makes a lot of sense philosophically, that won't leave, but does fit the Michigan culture, Clark Lee. You want to talk about building a regime of toughness?
Yeah.
Good establishment in the Midwest. That one fits in a multiverse. I think we're set in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't see Clark Lee leaving. I mean, if you're Michigan, you call him, you make him tell you no. Like, especially this late in the game, because when Penn State finally hired Matt Campbell, it was like, oh, okay, the coaching searches, the coaching carousel, it's over. We can move on. Nope.
That feels over.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, well, it's not even just the Michigan job coming open. It's also now whoever takes that job's open. if they end up, hiring a head coach from somewhere else, I think they might end up. To me, it feels like they're probably going to end up pursuing some kind of pro guy, like a pro coordinator or a pro staffer, just because I feel like you have a better chance of getting them this late in the game. But who knows, man? I mean, a few years ago, Brian Kelly left Notre Dame. We don't know. That Michigan job's got a lot of weight to it when it's good, and right now they're pretty good. So
that might be another name.
I mean,
I feel like it's a name that when you get down to it, it's going to take a minute to get there, but it's not like they have a plethora of options. They're going to get a lot of no's right now.
They're going to get majority. Well, I mean, the majority knows, but
I'm going to run down a list for you.
Okay.
And you give me what you think they would say. Just comparing jobs right now. Mike Elko. Texas A&M, better or yours?
For Mike Elko, I think Texas A&M is a better job.
Okay. So Mike Elko's a no.
I think Mike's a no.
Brom.
Jeff Brom?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you could get Jeff Brom. Now, he is a Louisville guy. So, like, I know every time a name gets brought up, like we say that about a lot of these head coaches, but I think that carries a lot of weight, man. Like, I think it does.
Nowadays?
When you're at your alma mater and it's going well, like, no, Jeff Brom hasn't won the ACC, but Louisville hasn't been a dumpster fire either. I think it's hard to get guys to go away because they have that attachment, that preconceived attachment to that university because they played there.
And they've got family and friends and uproot a life. And nowadays, I know it sounds crazy. I've not been in this position, but the money's not that different.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know, how much different is $13 million from $10 million a year?
And especially living in Ann Arbor and living in Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville's a pretty sweet town. And you got your establishment there. You're already kind of a hero. It's one of those things, that's another thing, why would Clark leave Nashville in a program that can't compete financially just yet?
Is moving rapidly towards.
There's a lot of very wealthy people that came out of that school that are now, they're in it, man.
Yeah.
I hear that firsthand from friends that work there and that are around that still live in Nashville. This is just a different world now.
Well, they just needed somebody to show them, hey, we can actually do this.
Yeah.
We can play in the SEC and not be a punching bag for the rest of the league in football. I don't want to say they are in other sports because they've been pretty good in basketball and baseball. So
yeah,
but they're like, we can do this in football if we have the investment, we get the right players, we have the right head coach. I think you do. You have the right head coach. So I mean, he's coming off the best year in Vanderbilt history ever. So I don't know. I don't think Clark Lee would leave either.
Okay. Who are some other people I was thinking about? I'll ask you just for funsies' sake. Matt Campbell.
No.
Even though it's supposedly
no, because Matt, this isn't the first time Matt's name has been on a hot board for big jobs. So I feel like he took the Penn State job because things align with him at Penn State and he wants to be there. Now, of course, you say that he didn't know the Michigan job was going to come open, or I'm assuming he didn't know the Michigan job was going to come open. It sounds like from what we've seen on Twitter, some people knew this might have been coming for a little bit, but who knows? But Matt Campbell doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He seems like, I made this commitment to Penn State. I want to be at Penn State.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too, is if you're going to take the Michigan job now, let's be honest with ourselves. It kind of feels like a pretty shady position now. You're walking into a very disorganized organization.
Well, you have to, when you take the job there, it's a bad comparison. It's a bad comparison. I don't want to say it. When you take the job there, you got to do a little bit of damage control. It's not as bad as coaches that have taken jobs at other programs, but it's a little bit of hey, after the Stallions thing and then now this, we kind of need a guy who's just going to be oh yeah, I go to the Waffle House with my family on Sunday nights and we have family time and we coach football. You need somebody that's going to kind of stabilize a little bit, not because this is back to back with the whole Stallions sign stealing thing, the entire college football world accusing you of cheating, and then now your head coach, who was on that staff and got elevated to be the head coach, now just got fired for cause because he was a little too close with a certain female staffer.
Yeah. There's also just like, everybody kind of forgets that recruiting violation after recruiting violation. Another one that was brought up today, I heard, we also kind of forget Juwan Howard punched a coach in a line on national TV and was coaching that same year after his little suspension at Michigan. Like, inside that organization, they're like, until, if you're good at coaching your sport. But as soon as you're like not good, they're like, well, you know what? He punched a guy.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what happened to that last year? I don't know. It's just like, there's just some weird shadiness. And I get it. It's college sports. Like, forgive. And, Juwan seems like a decent guy at times. And so it's like, I don't know. But like all these little situations, you're like, how are we doing our vetting process?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like people make mistakes too, but like the situational awareness, brother, you're the head coach of a major sports program, like a major college's sports programs. You gotta carry yourself different.
Yeah.
You have to.
You have to have
situational
triggers.
awareness.
You have to have triggers in your mind to be like,
yeah,
millions of people will see this.
Know where you're at and who you are, because it carries a lot of weight.
And if you're not ready to take that on, I know I've heard coaches say this, like, the pressure's a lot. I do get that. I can only empathize. But also, I think given that position, you have to understand what you are and that you're ready. Like, it's not just you have to understand who you are. You have to be in the mindset of, I can't wait to be that. Like, you're Superman. You're Superman in some sort of way, whether that's mentally, physically, whatever. I think that's why a lot of these coaches are like getting jacked and like all these little things. Like, I'm going to build myself up to be Superman. It's going to be a lot, and I'm sure there's going to be some tough nights and da-da-da-da-da. And to be honest, I think that's what happened to Sherrone today. Like, I think that was, or yesterday, it sounds like that when all of his sins came into one package and it was about to be national, I can't even fathom the pressure that comes down in your situation. You have a family, you got a beautiful wife, 3 children, and that's all about to come crashing down.
Not to mention your
alleged, can't keep it in your pants.
Yeah. Not to mention you were making however many millions of dollars a year as the head coach of Michigan football.
Yeah.
Like, and it's bad all around.
It's bad all around, and it's scary that, like, if you do commit the sins and that piles up, the magnitude of the job, the magnitude of the money, the magnitude of the viewership. Because if you are in that position as Sherrone, you know that this was going to happen last night and today. Like, the Twitter world took over. Slow sports week, like, kind of a weird in between.
Oh yeah. No, well,
like,
I mean,
even like, there wasn't even like college basketball on last night. Like, very few games. Like, it's just weird. Like, there's just NBA games and stuff like that. It's just not. There's not a lot going on, and you were the story.
Yeah, you're the only thing people were running with, and everybody.
It's the worst. Like, because like, whenever all this happens, you realize you're getting fired. You have to know, like, what your media attention is going to be, and that makes me want to throw up. Like, if I was committing said sins, and then the world saw it, I can't even fathom. I'd probably lose it too.
Yeah.
Don't commit the sins though. That's all I can say.
It just goes. I mean, it just goes. And it's nothing new, man. It's not the first time we've seen. Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen a person in this situation with this kind of power or this prominent level of job do something like this. Like, it's.
Yeah. Also, it's part of it. It's like, that's one of the things you got to fight off, or, figure out an avenue where it's not as unbearable. It's like, hey, you're going to get a lot of very, very attractive women thrown at you pretty fast. And you're going to have access to a lot of young college students very fast. They know who you are. It's a situation where have better situational awareness, I guess, is where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Hard.
Know who you are and what position you're in. So,
golly bum, man. It's just the whirlwind that happened yesterday feels like a reality TV show. And I thought the Lane stuff was like we had the Lane stuff last 2 weeks ago? What are we at?
Whenever he got hired, like right after the Egg Bowl. So.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. Ugh. Last week. Sorry. Good gosh. Like that's only feels like a month and a half ago.
It really does.
The Penn State stuff happened in between there. Like this is what we've had for the last 13, 14 days. Crazy carousel. Dude, you got to think Summerall and those guys are like, easy peasy.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be way worse. Because Goff, you're Lane, dude. You've got to feel like, I mean, I know maybe he's got the ego of of some sort of demigod, but
he wasn't sleeping with staffers.
But he wasn't sleeping with staffers, and also it's one of those things like he's probably got to feel like you can tell Lane's got some sympathy, empathy. He's got it all. Sometimes he doesn't hide it well, but you can tell that probably hurt him whenever he was like, "Oh, a lot of people hate me." That can't feel good. I don't care who you are.
No.
You can be an egomaniac.
He may have been hitting on the hot moms at yoga. Or the moms that
come on, you know he was.
Yeah. Little sly comments. But.
Yeah. Lane's made some comments. We know that.
Yeah.
Joey Freshwater.
A couple of two. But just a couple.
Just a good looking man out there on the prowl. Yeah. This job's gonna be very interesting to see where it happens, where it takes a turn and who they get. And it'll all settle down. But they're gonna have to have you said it right. They're gonna have somebody come in there and correct the ship, because I am very worried that they're gonna have to just hire somebody, or they keep interim coach blanking.
Oh, was it Biff Poggi?
Yeah, Biff
is the interim. I mean, maybe, he coached those few games that Sherrone was suspended, but I mean, with all due respect to Biff, that's not your long-term guy.
That's definitely not your long-term guy, but I'm also worried they may be in a spot where they have to just do the interim.
Pull a Stanford?
Yeah, pull a Stanford.
Do interim.
It's not Michigan. It's not
can't,
Stanford.
Well, the problem is it's not just that. It's like you can't waste a year of Bryce Underwood.
That's true.
And I think if they do that, if they announce that, hey, we're doing an interim, whatever, Bryce would be out.
Yeah,
so like you're not just doing damage control from like your image of Michigan football. You're also doing damage control from, number one, your recruiting class that just came in, your recruiting class from last year, and Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
You can't lose that kid.
Yeah, what's crazy is, like we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, like this is a perfect place for Coleman to go. This is a perfect place for this receiver to go. It's going to be really tough. You're going to have to get the right guy. I don't know who that guy is, and honestly, I hate to say it, like, if you get Kelly.
Please don't hire Brian Kelly.
If you get Kelly, the rumors about him and all the things that came out from his ex-players, former players, I guess.
Listen,
not great. That's not who you want to hire. You're going to have to find a saint, a man.
Listen, Michigan. It's just me and you, Michigan. Okay. Do not hire Brian Kelly. Don't. Not after the Harbaugh and Stallions thing. Not after this. You just that would be just don't hire Brian Kelly. Please. Not saying they will or saying they were going to. He's probably not even. I would be hesitant to put him on hot boards.
Yeah.
But, go get you a guy like Jed Fish.
That New Mexico bias not too crazy.
He just coaches ball. Well, no, he's
he's Washington.
Yeah. He was Arizona, then Washington. Like, just go get Jed Fish, man. Solid ball coach. Did well at Arizona. Has done pretty well at Washington. Like, what he's done with DeMond. No, but I mean, he doesn't have the recruiting classes that Michigan's getting. Washington's like, I think 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten in recruiting. Probably 5th or 6th in the Big Ten in recruiting.
Ohio State, Michigan,
Oregon, USC. Actually, USC's number 1 for this past year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it's going to be those programs.
But you make the jump to Michigan. Did you feel like the National Signing Day timing is a little weird? You buy into that?
Well, okay. So after the reports came out that like apparently people had hinted at this but they didn't say anything because whether they probably didn't want to or couldn't or who knows. So, I mean, if you're Michigan and you knew about this, it's super shady that you wait until after National Signing Day. I get it. I get why you did it.
Okay.
I mean, early National Signing Day. Technically, National Signing Day is February, but like early National Signing Day has pretty much become signing day.
I missed the February.
Yeah.
Signings.
So, anyways, I get why you did it, but at the same time, now that the coach is fired, the transfer portal window opens for Michigan. Like those players get a special transfer portal window because their coach is gone. So I mean, I don't really think it saved you much because they could have just dipped when you fired him before. Yeah. So I mean, now it's just, oh hey, I've got to get out a national letter of intent, which we've watched players do in the past few years. So I mean, does it seem kind of shady with the timing? Yes, if everything that we know or everything that we've heard about them knowing for a few weeks is true, it kind of seems shady. Does it matter? I don't really think so.
Then we'll said again today, he was talking about the investigation. So I guess they launched an investigation maybe a week or a little longer ago. And initially they didn't have anything concrete. Whatever they found out publicly in the last couple of days, that has been the solidifier of like, hey, we got to get this guy out of here. What that is, I don't know.
Did he mention if like somebody came forward with something or?
Yeah, they had an anonymous source originally.
Okay.
But after that, I don't know he doesn't even know like what they found out. I think, Pete's the biggest professional in all of college sports right now, it sounds like. So he's probably got, I'm going to wait till that police report comes out. He probably knows exactly how it goes down. Like we were seeing all the pictures from the donor texts and everything else. And like, you can get, me and my wife were talking about this last night. Ann Arbor, towns like that, it's small enough where, so-and-so's donor best friend lives in Detroit, but they're still in town. And so they're the message board guy and donor tells them this. And then, he's also got a buddy down at the police station named Jay. He got the police call in. And so it's like things like that happen. Like that's a part of it, man. Like that's just smaller town, smaller city. Like I even think that could happen in Knoxville. Definitely could happen here. Like you got the right people that have lived here for a long time. That would be so easy to get around town.
Yeah.
We get 80,000 people here. That ain't nothing. Ann Arbor's, I think, it's a little bit smaller than that.
I mean, at least it's better than somebody saying, well, I saw this message on Yik Yak that like, I don't even know if Yik Yak's still a thing. I just want
to. It was as of last year when I worked in college.
Okay.
Yes.
Somebody insider information on Yik Yak.
Yeah. They talk a lot of smack. They talk a lot of smack on there. I don't think I ever got any goods or bads.
No, I didn't either. So
yeah. We didn't have Yik Yak when I was in college, but I mean working in college last year.
Yeah.
They still had it.
Yeah.
It's not as prevalent. Like, you got to get on there to get some tea.
Yeah.
But just know if you're out there listening and you're in college, your professors and your staff are looking at it. I don't know how often, but I never got the app to look at it from them, but we had some staff that kept ties, coaches, things like that.
Yeah.
So they're always looking. They know you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're 18 to 23 at this point.
You got a lot going on in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not always straight up there. It's okay. Well, let's go over to Notre Dame. Go ahead, Joseph.
Dude. Okay. What segment of this do we start with? You know what? Let's start with the bowl opt-out.
Okay. Let's start bowl lockout because we've not talked about this.
The bowl opt-out, I hate it. I get it. But I hate it. And it's so, I don't know, man. It just seems so soft to me personally.
Yeah.
And get all my biases out the way. As a Georgia fan, it's just something I couldn't fathom Kirby doing. Like, even if the administration was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't, let's not. I just feel like he would be too involved. Like he'd want to, I don't know. the love of the game's too strong. There we go. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
The love of the game's too strong. And I specifically remember, and a lot of people were posting it after the bowl opt-out thing came out, his speech about Kamari Lassiter from the Orange Bowl game, where he was like, dude, hey, you got a 1-2 grade. Don't play in this game. We get it if you don't play in this game. Everything you've accomplished, whatever. And then Kirby said he left it up to Kamari, and Kamari was like, dude, I want to play. So I don't know. I get it. I get where Notre Dame's coming from because the landscape of the sport, I hate it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it before with players, and I get it. You got you're not playing in a playoff game. You got a 1-2 grade. You're a top 60 pick. You don't have to play in a New Year's Six Bowl, man. I get it. I still hate it, but I get it. You got a lot of money coming down the pipeline. But to have a whole program or an entire team opt out where, yeah, Jeremiah Love, he wasn't going to play in that bowl game. I get it. He shouldn't. Some of those corners, those linemen that are first 1-2 round grades. But what specifically sticks out in my head was watching the Orange Bowl in 2023 with Georgia. I remember seeing Will Muschamp get a chance to watch his kid take a snap and play in that game. And just seeing him on the sidelines, the smile on his face, all the players coming up to him and saying stuff to him, and just the way that entire sideline rallied behind Will Muschamp because his son got to take a snap and play in a Georgia football game. That's the part of me that makes me think they took that away, whether it was the coaching staff or the administration, or supposedly it was a player meeting and they voted majority to skip it. And if they did, then that's, as a team, they did that. That's their choice. But that's the part, that part is what I think sucks the most. Because I get it, Notre Dame. You go win and beat BYU in a New Year's Six Bowl. It's cool, but it's not what you wanted. You wanted to make the playoff. You shouldn't have lost to you shouldn't have lost to Miami and Texas A&M. But that aside, I just hate that some of those guys that expected to get one last football game aren't going to. They're not only is their season over and their time at Notre Dame done, but their football career is over completely. They'll never play another snap. And I think to myself, if I was one of those players in one of those scenarios, when I was 65 and looking back, would I be like, yeah, man, we really stuck it to ESPN. We didn't play in our last bowl game. Really?
This is a
you had a chance to play in a major New Year's Six Bowl where the amount of people that get to do that is already very, very minuscule. And you just didn't? I don't know. It feels soft. I hate it. Again, I get it. I just and also sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm thinking on how I want to say that. Right.
Well, the thing that I hate the most too is when we first started seeing players do this, it was okay, that's kind of odd, but this guy's a first round draft pick, top 10 pick. We get it. Then it started becoming okay, now you're a first round, second round guy. You're not going to play either. And now it's becoming to where a lot more players opt out.
A lot.
And what I hate is that now that we've seen, for all intents and purposes, one of the big boys, Notre Dame's one of the bigger brands in college football. Yep. It's one of the better teams. Now that we've seen them just skip out on a bowl game like this, and not just we went 8-4, we're not going to play in the Holiday Bowl, or we went 6-6, we're not going to play in the Gator Bowl. And I'm not saying that's exactly how those bowls are laid out, but they skipped a prominent non-playoff bowl. It, to me, makes me think in 3 or 4 years we won't have bowl season. And we'll just have the playoff. Because it feels like it's the first domino that's falling in oh, well, if Notre Dame doesn't want to play in a game like this, then why should we want to? Now, don't get me wrong, you'll still have programs, you'll still have coaches that adopt that Kirby Smart mantra where they're we're doing this for the love of the game because we play football, because we love football, and because you only get so many of these in your life. I think some of those teams will still stick around, but I worry how many other teams are going to be Well, Notre Dame didn't do it, so why should we?
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people that are pissy about it. Dude, just don't give up 41 points to Texas A&M, or don't lose to Miami. That's the big one. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I get that you feel like the committee was putting you in a spot to get in, but they said, like, hey, if Miami, they put BYU in between you. And whenever they said, hey, if Miami and Notre Dame get closer, we will have to take into account head-to-head. Guess what? BYU got trounced. They were going to get moved out. Unfortunately, they played Texas Tech twice, which they only lost to really one team. So it's really tough for, if you're Miami or Notre Dame, you're like, well, we actually might have a worst case in some aspects. Like, it's one of those things, man. Like, I don't get it. I think, especially when you have a guy like Clark Lee who went up on that table and did the same thing. He said, hey, we should have handled our business.
Yeah.
We should have handled our business. You have a coach that does that. Unless I missed it, I didn't see Marcus Freeman doing that.
And that's where I'm like, I think that's where I'm the most torn, is because I don't know. And if there's an answer out there, I need to go read it, but I don't know whose decision this ultimately was. Because it's when I first read it, it felt so hard for me to believe that Marcus Freeman would make that choice, because he seems like a football guy.
Yeah,
that would just be like, no, we're gonna line up and play ball. Like,
yeah.
and I get it. If you're Notre Dame, you feel like you got screwed over by the committee. You really got screwed over by the playoff format, and you got screwed over by the committee from a messaging standpoint. Like, you should have been ranked behind Miami before the final reveal show. You should have been ranked behind Miami probably for a couple of weeks before the final reveal show, but you weren't. They screwed that up. That's a whole nother argument about the committee and how they handle things and how they justify things. That's a show in itself, in its entirety.
That they made that a show for fun.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, we could do a whole pod on how their arguments and justifications for rankings could be so much better.
So much.
Regardless, what it came down to was, like Clark Lee said, you didn't handle your business. And if you're Notre Dame and you're going to sit here and complain because you went 10-2 and you lost to Miami and Texas A&M, Vanderbilt has the exact same argument. They lost on the road at Texas. You lost at home.
Yeah.
One of those games was at home, Notre Dame. Vanderbilt only lost 2 games on the road to Bama and Texas. And you know what? Their head coach stood up there and said, we didn't handle our business. Now, all credit to Marcus Freeman. He could have said that to the players, and we just not know. In a players-only meeting. We don't know. Or not players-only meeting, but in a staff meeting. He could have said that. I don't know.
You could have. That's something you have to say publicly. That's another part of this whole job is like, dude, even from the Justin Herbert thing, like, hey, listen, everybody's like, oh, well, that's not a part of my job description. Yeah, it is. That's what the money's for.
Yeah.
That's the whole Mad Men thing. That's what the money's for. Guess what? It is a part of it. Like, you have to be media savvy.
Everybody has aspects of their job they don't like.
Yeah. And there's almost like unwritten things.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to go up there. You got to handle your shit.
You know, it's funny to sit here and talk about Clark Lee handling his business. And when you first brought it up and you said, well, you know what, Notre Dame, if you don't like it, don't lose to Texas A&M, don't lose to Miami. And I thought to myself, or join the ACC and run the conference, because you're better than all those teams. Well, at least you think you are. You lost to Miami, so I don't know if you're better than Miami.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's really what, if you want to sit here and really talk about how Notre Dame got screwed, specifically this year, because have you also seen the article about starting next year, if they're in the top 12, they're guaranteed a spot?
Yeah.
I hate that.
I hate that so much.
I hate that. As someone who is, the more I've watched this 12-team playoff, the more I've started to hate auto bids. I hate it.
Especially when we're getting into whiner business. Like, that's how they're getting into this, because they're whining about it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, why are we? I understand they're independent. I get it. That, in my opinion, if they want to keep their independence, and I'm I'm totally fine with it if they want to. We talked about it, and we've given the argument for why they should join a conference. I sat here and said that they won't even consider it until it costs them. It cost them this year. But if they want to sit there and be independent, more power to you. You're more than welcome to. But when something like this happens, where, hey, we're giving out rewards, and when they built this 12-team playoff, one of the first things people talked about was like, well, the conference championships get buys, so Notre Dame could never get a bye. It's like, okay, that seems kind of, is that not raise a red flag for you if you're Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Does that not like, hey, there's reading in the writing right here, there's already a chance we could get screwed. So should we not at least evaluate this a little bit, maybe? Or is it so much of an ego where you're like, oh, well, we're just too good. That'll never happen to us. We'll never be that low
got their way this year
in the rankings.
Like if they would have been undefeated this year.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. At 12-0 Notre Dame any year is going to be a top 12. They'll be a top 3 team.
Yeah, they'll be a top 3 team.
They'll be a top 3 team.
So like that's the thing is like, if you would have been Indiana, if you would have been Ohio State, you're where they're at.
If you would have been Texas A&M, if you'd have been 11-1,
if you'd have flipped that game,
if you'd have just beat Miami,
1 point. What, a total of 4 points they lost by?
4 points.
So that's the thing is that we're not harping on. I don't think Notre Dame's a bad football team. I watched them down the end of the year. That's a good USC win. I mean, look, they don't have like a ton of just unbelievable wins like Pitt, Navy, USC, Boise State, like pretty good wins. Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're and I'm with you. They're a good football team. They're a team that started a freshman quarterback, and they got better throughout the year. And at this point, they're probably a better team than Miami. They're certainly better, in my opinion, than Tulane and JMU. But the problem is, the format. You understand the bylaws, what the committee has to do. And you chose to stay independent. That's totally your choice. I respect it. But you understand there are consequences that come with that. And also, for the argument, for the people that are saying, well, Notre Dame's a better team than Miami, that might be true. That's not what we're doing here. We're not slotting 12 teams that we think are the best 12 teams. That's not what we're doing here.
No.
We're doing a mix of 12 best and most deserving. Because I love you, JMU. I love you, Tulane. You're not 2 of the 12 best teams in the country. You're not. And if Virginia would have won and gotten in, they were not one of the 12 best teams in the country. If we were slotting these teams, if Notre Dame fans that are clamoring for we're a better team than Miami, if we were slotting these teams based off the 12 best teams, half the field, 9 out of 12 teams would be SEC and Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
If not, 11 out of the 12 would be SEC and Big Ten teams. And then you'd have the like Texas Tech this year, totally viable. One of those teams. But is Texas Tech going to be that every year?
Because these other one Big 12 team?
Yeah, I mean these other Big 10 well, I'm just saying if we move to a format where it was like, okay, we're picking the 12 best teams. The 12 best teams. It's like, I hope you're ready for 9 to 10 of that field to be SEC and Big 10 teams.
Yeah, because we're going by eye test alone. I felt like Vandy was on that train.
If we're going by eye test alone, I felt Vandy was better than Oklahoma.
Me too. But guess what? It's not about eye test. You gotta go win the damn football game.
Yeah, you have to. It's about who you beat and when you beat them. That's what the committee showed. Not saying that's right, but like that's the reason we had the whole Notre Dame Miami debacle is because Miami and don't get me wrong, Miami beat Notre Dame. They should have been ranked ahead of them. Yep. They should be in the playoffs. But the problem was Notre Dame ripped off 10 wins in a row, and Miami went 6, loss, 3, loss, finished 10-2.
Yeah.
So, like, the committee's going to take into account, it's like who you beat when you lost. And that's what led to this whole, like, Notre Dame being ranked ahead of Miami forever. And for whatever reason, they took until the last selection show to fix it because they needed to see Duke beat Virginia. I guess. I guess. And if that's your justification, if your justification is, well, we needed all the data points. Really, you mean you just needed to see the ACC about to get left out is what you needed when you have a head-to-head result here that you've had for literally the entire season because that happened in the first week.
Bingo. That's all it is. Stay on the topic of Notre Dame. What if everybody does? The rumor has been going around that the bigger conferences want to freeze out Notre Dame.
They can.
Why would you not?
They have every right to. Just like the
financial benefits, literally the only thing that you have now. Like every game that you schedule against Notre Dame is going to get great viewership, big time ad revenue. Every channel is going to want it.
Mm-hmm.
But
how much? Okay,
what's the difference in doing that and then add an extra SEC?
So okay, here's the thing. So the SEC is probably out on that deal because they're already moving to 9 conference games.
Yeah.
And if you didn't hear Kirby's speech after the SEC title game, that was the 9th conference game. That tells you how much harder that league's going to be.
Yeah.
And then if you're the Big Ten, if you're Ohio State, what's the risk to reward ratio of scheduling Notre Dame? Like if you're the Big Ten, you already make more money than the SEC.
Yeah.
How much more money do you need to risk playing Notre Dame and losing and then having what happened to Notre Dame happen to you? So why schedule them?
And now that's like, if you're going to freeze them out, they're not going to have any big wins. But if they're going to get in top 12, that's the thing is like, you're going to have to, I think you're going to have to get to a point where you have to play them so you can beat them because they're just going to get in the playoff and take a spot from one of your teams because they're not playing anybody and they're 12-0.
Yeah.
And because they're going to get Notre Dame in. Like if the 12-0 Notre Dame and they piece together, they're playing Air Force and they've got, they're solidified, a couple of teams are trying to play them and they're playing the new Pac-12. They're going to get them in because guess what? Like Notre Dame's going to go pay a decent team some money from one of these G5s. Like let's say it's just for funsies, like Tulane. Tulane's going to be fighting for that play. Well, I got 2 wins over Tulane and South Florida. We're going to put those guys in. So that's a decent win. They're 12-0. They're going to have to get in. So then I think it's going to come back into play where it's like, dude, we got to go beat these motherfuckers and get them out of here.
Yeah.
Because otherwise so it's this weird vicious cycle that Notre Dame's going to put everybody in because they're whiners. And it's those friends that they just somehow get their way.
This feels like the wrong, I understand you're upset. I get it. And you have every right to be upset with the committee's
if you're Notre Dame
formula and process. But I don't know, to say what their AD said about the ACC and to pit a conference against you when you're already why should the ACC vouch for you? You're
because you play with them in basketball and baseball?
Yeah. No, you're in football, you're taking a spot away from one of their teams. So in my opinion, they should almost do the opposite and be like, well, maybe Virginia should have got in as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know Virginia didn't win the ACC, but
if they would have,
it just doesn't make any sense to me that you would I don't know. I don't know why you would attack these conferences when being independent, you need them. Because, you could go play like a glorified Pac-12 schedule, new Pac-12 schedule. And like you said, if they're 10-0 or they're 12-0, 11-1, they're going to get in. But how much money is NBC going to lose if all your marquee games go away?
Yeah. If the best you can do is Navy at Arkansas.
Because, the USC game's not guaranteed anymore.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to get real dicey.
That's a rivalry game that could potentially be gone. And I don't, again, we sitting here and talking about this. I just want to make it clear. I don't want any of this to happen.
I don't. I really don't.
I would love for Notre Dame to keep the USC rivalry, and they don't even have to join the ACC, but I want them to stay relevant because I love Marcus Freeman. I think they're a great team. He's a great head coach. They're a really damn good team, but just the way this whole situation has been handled just feels wrong.
It feels like an entitled kid.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
It feels like an entitled kid. It's like, dude, handle your shit and then you wouldn't have to worry about this.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in the spot. You have to understand hey, we got to go win. We got to win their first 2 games.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Not
But
even.
but I'm with you. Like I go back to the whole them not playing in a bowl game just makes me worried for like it's already not feeling the same as we were when we were kids. Like, God, oh, dude, I couldn't wait to watch Tennessee play in the Music City Bowl. It just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It
Well,
doesn't.
I mean, it's the
If you don't make the playoffs and you feel like you're a big time program, and just oh shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we had the 4-team playoff, you know, the marketing around it was like, who's in, and that really put an emphasis on like, are you one of the 4 best teams? But in my opinion, the New Year's Six bowls still carried a lot of weight because it was like, hey, those 4 spots, man, that's for like the elite of the elite this year.
Yeah,
like, you could have a damn good football team, like 2023 Georgia, damn good football team, didn't handle business.
Didn't handle business.
That's beat Bama, dude. Like, that's all you got to do.
That's
beat
it.
Bama
with the roster, with a better roster.
Yeah, they didn't. So they didn't make the 14 playoff. But when we went to 12, it's really like, oh God, now we've got all these extra spots. And like, listen, if you were one of the 14 playoff teams and you missed, you were 5th or 6th, you were probably posting like an 11-1 record.
Yeah,
I get it. If you're clamoring for being like, man, that really should have been that should have been us, brother. If you're in the double digits, clamoring for one of the last few spots, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's what we've said. Handle business.
If the 16-team playoff has a bunch of whiners, that's going to be real sad.
Well, that's the thing.
We're almost going to get into like pathetic territory.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, we're going to, if we do this, and I hate to say it, I hate to call it, but I'm going to call my shot. There is a way to fix this, what happened to Notre Dame this year, and not expand the playoff, but that's not how it's going to get handled. We're going to move to 16 because it's more money. It's more playoff games.
And Greg Sankey wants it.
I don't even know. Some people in suits that have way more power in this sport than I do want it. But it's more money. And what we're going to do is we're going to kick the can down the road. And the argument's going to go from arguing about 10 and 11 to 13 and 14. And we're going to be in the same spot. Because, I mean, if we had the 16-team playoff this year, the argument would have shifted from Miami and Notre Dame to Texas and Vanderbilt.
Very true.
And it would have been the same thing, and it would have literally been the same. The only difference is that Texas had one additional loss, but they beat Vanderbilt. So you would have been, how do we handle 9-3 Texas versus 10-2 Vandy with a head-to-head win for Texas?
Bingo.
That would have been your argument this year. And you know what? Somebody would have got in, and somebody would have got screwed, and some fan base would have been mad.
Yeah.
And some administration and head coach would have been mad. Now, based on what I've seen from Clark Lee and how he handled it, I think he would have probably handled it a little bit better than if it was Texas that got screwed. That would have been probably just as big a mess as this whole Notre Dame thing's been. But that's the thing. Instead of actually fixing the issues and correcting the 12-team playoff, we're going to be like, why don't we just put more teams in? Then that'll make everybody happy. No, it won't. It will just change who's mad.
Yeah, because I guess we'd be playing. I guess how they would do it, we would start playing this weekend, right?
Well, I mean, I think we'd still probably keep the same schedule. There'd just be more games, and then the national championship would be pushed out another 10 days.
Oh, it's the worst, dude.
Like,
because we got to get it closer to this semester somehow, some way. I mean, I don't think it's possible.
Either that, or you'd have to start. They'd either do that, or they'd keep the national championship the same day and move the starting weekend up one weekend to like the last weekend in August.
So week 0
week
actual
week
1.
And then you'd have conference championship games would be on the week of Thanksgiving, the weekend following Thanksgiving, so like Black Friday and stuff. And then you'd start the first round of playoffs like a week earlier in December.
I would not hate that.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't hate it, but like I kind of like rivalry weekend that, you know, the games are spread out over those few days.
Some of those are like homecoming weekends.
Yeah.
Like not technically homecoming, but it is usually like going back to see my family, and Mississippi's a great one.
Yeah.
Go have Thanksgiving. You guys go to the Egg Bowl on Friday. It's a good situation.
Yeah.
Very intrigued to see what happens going forward.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I made a TikTok about it. I think our best In my opinion, the best solution is just take the top 12 teams. Just take top 12 teams. And I know somebody's going to sit here and say, well, that excludes the G5. No, it does not. It does not. Cincinnati made it to the top 4 as a G5 program.
Yep.
If they can do it, somebody can make top 12.
You just got to be good.
You've got to be good. And no, like, don't get me wrong, JMU's had a great season. They lost by 14 to the best team they played. It's the only Power 4 opponent they played.
Yep.
And that was Louisville.
Think about it this way. If South Florida would have ran the table, right? Like that's a team, like, what a resume.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Florida's not a great win now.
No, but they would have had a win over Miami.
They would have had a win over Miami. They would have had a win over Florida. They would have had a win over Memphis.
Yep.
Navy. Like, good wins, man. That's a hell of a resume.
Yeah.
Take those guys out of the top 12. Good luck with that.
Yep.
You're going to have to stack up. Like, that's another thing. Like, if you're, yeah, like those guys will have to go play Notre Dame. Those guys are going to have to schedule tough opponents, and you got to go win them. But you can make it. You're right. Like, that will not be, that's not even like, let me say this right. It's not hard to schedule yourself the possibility.
No, because if you're like JMU or if you're Tulane, you're one of these, better G5 programs, and you schedule, like, Tulane played Ole Miss. Ole Miss probably paid Tulane to do that. That's more money for your NIL. That's more money for your athletic programs. And then if you win that game, that's your shot to make the playoff. So it's not about G5 exclusion. It's not about the G5 doesn't have a chance. It's like, oh, hey, the G5 just has the same chance that all these other schools do. They don't get an automatic bid. You just have to be a good football team.
Bingo. And I'll say this, adding to that thought, you're South Florida, you're Tulane, not obviously, like, they're 2 notches above, but because you're in the SEC, you are now Vanderbilt. Those are places that it was hard to live as a college student before. If you have some NIL money, sell your freaking cities, man. New Orleans, Tampa, Nashville, as a young kid with some money, dude, that's why these places can do a lot better.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to be like JMU, thank goodness they're just like good at football. It's come there, win some football games, be good.
Yeah.
It's a good fan base. You're obviously getting a game day every year too. Like, it adds to it, but it ain't the same as living in a big city. Dude, South Florida, Tampa area, little NIL money. Those teams can make a lot of waves if they did it right with the right guys, and Mr. Hartline might be the right guy down there in Tampa.
Yeah.
So there's avenues. There's avenues for you to make it, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, holy hell, Indiana is the #1 team in the country.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is if people push back on that and say that Indiana was a 0.4% win percentage.
Yep.
Or 40% win percentage program. And they are now coming off of a 13-0 season where they just beat Ohio State.
I think they'd have to win, like, they'd have to have like 4 more undefeated seasons
to be
500.
Oh, to hit 500? Probably. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but probably something like that.
I thought I saw
But
that.
yeah, I mean, just like I don't think that taking the top 12 teams excludes the G5. I just think it requires a little bit more excellence, in my opinion. And I know people would look at that, and one of their biggest pushbacks probably is going to be money and investment. It's like, oh, well, they can't spend like the top 12 teams. They can't spend like these. Then why are we pretending that they belong? If we already know they're at a financial disadvantage, we already know that they're at a talent disadvantage, why are we entertaining and pretending the idea that they belong in this field? And again, that's not a shot at the G5. It's just reality.
Yeah. I was very wrong. They would have to win for 17 years in a row.
Oh, my God.
They're 520. Am I doing that math right?
What's their record?
525 wins, 719 losses as of late 2025.
Oh, they would have to have 20 years.
A little less than 20 years.
Yeah, of going 13-0.
Of going 13-0.
They could get it in around 15, I think, if they won like 15 straight
playoffs,
national titles. My Lord, that's crazy.
Yeah, so good luck to Indiana program. You're going to get to 500 soon.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I wonder if that's a great. Ooh, God,
Kurt Cignetti coached that long?
I don't think he could. You won't. That's wild to think about.
Maybe.
I mean, he's what, 70?
Let me look it up real quick. I think he's like 60 something.
Yeah, I think he's late 60s. He's older than I thought. Look it up, because I'm not sure where we would lie on that standard of coaching at.
He is 64.
64.
So
oh my gosh,
he would be 80.
70.
He would be what, 81? After 17 years of dominance. We won 17 national titles in a row and got Indiana to 500.
Golly bum. That's so well. In reality, he would have to have 20 years of Saban territory to get there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. In reality, he'd have to have 20 years of 10-2, 11-1.
That's fascinating.
Which, I mean, with the expanded playoffs and with a probably further expanded playoff to 16, I mean, that just depending on how they handle the buys and stuff.
Like you couldn't.
Have buys. I mean, if they go to 16, I don't know how they're going to handle the buys.
Maybe they won't have buys at that point.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do. Like, I think because if you did the top 4, then you'd have 12 teams, but then you'd have 6 teams left over, so you'd have 6 and 4. Like, but then I guess you could do 5 games. That's a lot of math that I don't feel like doing on the spot live on the show.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever you're breaking that down, I felt so dumb. I was like, "How do I get there?"
Well, I mean, if it's 16 teams,
if I don't have it in front of me like a 4-year-old, then
if you think about it straight up, it's 16 teams. That's 8 games.
Yeah.
If you do no buys, so if you still give the first 4, then you have 12 teams. So you get 6 games and 4 first round buys. So then when you get down to those 6 teams left, then you have 4 teams left. You have 10. Then your second round's 10 games, but you have a disproportionate because 2 of those teams are going to be playing.
So you'd have to do a double bye.
Well, I mean, I guess no, not necessarily, because I guess what you could do is like, I guess to further incentivize the top 4 seeds is if like you're a top 4 seed, you get a first round bye and you play a team that you'd play a team that played last week, but then if you're the 5th seed, you'd have to play again. Like you'd be playing 2 weeks in a row. That'd be weird.
Okay. First round on campus, 9 through 16 play in 2 games. Quarterfinals, 4 bye teams join the 8 first rounders.
Oh, so okay. So that's what you'd do. So okay. So what you'd do is you'd almost treat those.
It's like a playing
game. Doing this math live is hard. I feel like an idiot. I feel like somebody's watching and just screaming like, "You're an idiot."
We know. We're idiots.
I get it.
We're on the college football.
I get it.
If one day we are like somehow ever nominated for the college football committee, somebody's going to just dig in the depths using some AI system and be like, find me these idiots talking about college football playoffs and how they can't get to a 16-team playoff format. They're going to take this clip.
Yeah.
Like, no way we can give these guys this job.
So what you could do actually is if you went to 16, you could keep the same playoff structure you have now, and then whoever 13, 14, 15, and 16 are, they would play-in games for the 11 and 12 spot.
That's right. That's how it's broken down.
That's what you'd end up doing.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah. That's how they did this. That's the best one. This is Dallas Morning News. Shout out. Yeah, that's how it would go. That's wild to me.
So then it's like if you're on the fringe there and you're on the cusp, it's like you really have to prove it because you have to play basically a conference championship game when you're not in the conference championship. And then you have to go play a first round playoff game in 2 weeks.
Wow. So this is a broken down one. It's on the Dallas Morning News. They did a pretty good job. I mean, it's not perfectly. I had some teams in. He did it like if this were to happen. Now he did have Texas, Penn State, and Clemson all in there. That's his first
Brother,
four. Ohio State was the number 1 overall seed. Close. Georgia, Bama was the 8-9. He had Tulane versus Illinois in the 13-16 matchup. Illinois winning to take on number 4 Clemson. Notre Dame at 5, SMU at 12, LSU at 6, Texas A&M at 11, Penn State versus Oklahoma, Oregon, Arizona State. Not perfect, but not terrible. The Tulane and the Illinois and the Texas Tech and the Oklahoma. Got some teams in, not in the perfect spots. But anyways, 12 is where we need to stay. We just need to figure out how to do it a little bit better. Because if we're trying to workshop a new workshop every year, it's just going to cause more fuss. Let's try to perfect the one thing we have.
Yeah. Let's fix it. Let's fix it at 12 and get 12 optimal before we explore more.
Exactly.
Let's do that.
But
because
the great
more's
and
not
almighty
always
Greg
better.
Sankey doesn't want that.
I mean, it's better than, was it Tony Petitti in the Big Ten wanting 24?
Yeah.
That
because he wants like Iowa to get it,
No, that feels like one of those classic negotiation tactics where it's like, hey, our real number is 16, but we're going to propose 24 because it's going to make everybody think this is so preposterous that 16 doesn't sound that bad. But it's like, hey, guys, we don't need 16. We just need to perfect 12. That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
Just fix the 12. Yeah. Just fix the 12. Don't throw more money in teams at the problem because it's not going to fix the problem. Just fix the issues with the 12-team playoff and leave it at 12.
And that's it. All right. I do want to talk about a team that probably wouldn't get into 16-team playoff. That's my Tennessee Vols. The hiring of Jim Knowles.
Yeah.
Very excited about this.
Yeah.
From what I have heard, he is another coach that because his system is so damn good, it takes about a year to figure it out. So we may have some bumps in the road going into 2026.
Yeah, I mean that happened. That seemed to have happened with Ohio State. His first year, it was they hired Jim Knowles, and it was like, oh, this seems kind of odd. Like this isn't quite the instant splash. But then his second year, obviously, they went on to win the national title. But at the same time, watching what I watched from him at Penn State this year, I'm interested to see if you're right, and it does take a year, and maybe he would have been better in year 2 at Penn State had he gotten that chance if they had not cleaned house. Or if it was like, hey, that Ohio State defense that he had in that year 2 was just really, really freaking talented.
Yeah.
So we'll find out.
I'm very interested to see, and it sucks because did you read their latest mock draft they had come out for ESPN? Despite whatever you thought about Tim Banks and really, really great job of the secondary coaches, Colton Hood's projected first rounder as well. We have 2 corners
for 2027,
2026.
I didn't know Colton Hood could declare.
I didn't either.
You think he will? I don't think he needs to.
I think so. But if you get first round grade,
yeah,
it's hard.
But at the same time,
how?
So
like if you're hearing that from multiple people. And that's one of those things. How reliable is every source?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like if you're seeing yourself as a first round grade on a mock draft from ESPN, it's like okay, that's fine. But knowing Tennessee, they probably do what most of these other big programs do, where they have like a draft or not a draft, sorry, a combine, in-house combine, and they get grades like that way. So Colton might be seeing 1 to 2 round grade on ESPN mock draft, but in-house from like people that probably know football much better, they're gonna be like, hey man, you're probably like a day 3, day 4 guy, which still could be enough for him to declare. Now it could be wrong. He could be getting 1-2s from in-house. I don't know.
We don't know.
But,
and that's one thing too, is I'm so intrigued to see how he handles that, because him coming back could be massive get.
Yeah,
we need that. Huge. I didn't think he could go in, to be honest. I don't know why. I thought he was a little bit younger.
I thought he was like a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But yeah, I saw that today and I was like, huh. Because you know what you're getting out of Lincoln. Actual Tennessee's number 1 corner.
Jermon
McCoy, yeah.
I didn't know if you meant like somebody who was left on the roster or somebody McCoy, that was declaring.
Because I think McCoy had such a big grade going in. He, in this mock draft, he fell to mid-teens or 20s or something like that. And then Colton was 30. So I'm interested to see, like, maybe, you have Ricky Gibson come back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, how bad, what's Jamad looking like? Is he for sure? Like, I always hope that there are some guys out there on the draft teams and, like, these scouts, these GMs can, like, give good information, be like, hey, man, I know what the guy on ESPN said. We're not looking at you like that.
Yeah.
And they could even get that out to teams. Be like, hey, we don't want, you guys can make great financial decisions now without having to come to us. We want you to get better. We think you can be, but you took a whole year off, Jamad, like, due to injury. Scary. I hope they have good information.
I think there are some guys that just grade out better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, hey, we know you didn't play this year, but we know what you are. You've kept your training
he's
up.
Somebody
yeah,
they know.
Yeah. He's a guy that's like, oh, we know what we're getting. Versus Colton, it's like, well, this was really your first year, like, being the guy, most of the playing time. I could see him being, especially because also, I think if he looks at his draft grade versus money that Tennessee could pony up for him to come back,
you got a pretty strong arm to negotiate now,
yeah.
Especially like with Jim Knowles coming in. It's like, hey, we really need somebody that can lock it up out here.
Especially if they're saying, hey, you can come back, you'll make slightly less money than if you went to the NFL, but you could double that money if you play well this year and then declare for the draft.
Bingo. And you're living a good life down there, man.
Yeah.
That's a team, man. I don't know, like, the way they've gone out and grabbed quarterbacks, I think you're in a good spot to at least have a shot. This is a hard place to win in the SEC.
Does Joey have any more eligibility?
No, he's a part of that case with Diego Pavia. Words are hard. But yeah, so I'm just so intrigued. You know what's funny is I thought today, I was like, man, there's some college football news because it's Sherrone Moore. Then you get into this and you're like, man, there's so much going on all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Never stops.
Never stops. It's so fun. Hoping to have on some college basketball guests on soon. We'll talk some NFL when the time arises. We just love college ball right now. There's so much going on. New horizons for the pod. The foundation has been good to us, but I think we got some big things coming on our way, and I cannot wait to show you guys. We cannot wait to show you guys. We cannot wait to take on bigger tasks. We're going to make this pod big time. Can't wait to do bigger things with some amazing people. So we shall see. Joseph, any parting thoughts, my friend?
Army Navy this weekend. I know that's not I know some people won't watch, probably not, but that kind of puts the bow on the regular season. So shout out to the troops. Hope for a good game. Other than that, man, enjoy the playoffs.
Yeah. It's always a fun standalone game. It's a great, you don't have to, I mean, let's be honest, like, it's nice just having on.
Yeah.
Things get intriguing. Yeah. Last year was good. Last year was one of those, like, it mattered.
Oh, yeah. It was, they were both undefeated at that point in time, right?
Yeah. Very strange year for the military schools.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Doesn't have as much implication this year, but pretty cool. Yeah, man. Like, subscribe everywhere. We love you guys. This has been awesome. Joseph, you're the man for just ponying up. Just me and you on a show date.
We killed it, brother.
We did it. We out.